wonderful day in the city of Philadelphia. We're here to talk about the Eagles parade just after these brief words from Cherelle Parker. To the PHLY Eagles podcast presented by Bet365 and Ace Hardware Home Services. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365 and go to www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. What a parade day it was. Bo Wulf, Deniz, Selman, Fran Duffy here to talk about it all. We all had different spots along the route. We got to watch them go by. We got to listen to the speeches. Cherelle Parker did speak for an incredibly long time. I think we're still waiting for her to finish. But how's everybody doing? Did either of you throw the beer that hit Howie between the eyes?
I did not throw it. I like to think that somewhere in the middle of the circle there in front of the art museum that Cherelle Parker is still talking. So, yeah, just it was an awesome day.
Wrap it up, B.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was so bad.
To be able, it's actually impressive to draw booze at a championship parade. That's an impressive feat.
I mean, there were like 2 or 3 false finishes too, which is like just to close it out. Like 4 minutes later.
Yeah. Well, it was funny.
Lady.
In the beginning, I thought she was going to go game by game, and it was like very specific moments where like Deniz, I was expecting like, and then in that week 14 loss where CJ Uzomah missed that block on counter, I was just waiting for that
give
moment.
us an ELGS SES, please.
Yeah,
that
that was
was
one thing that would have actually gotten
that would
a
have paid
cheer.
it off.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like lean
What a
into
bad
that.
job. Who
Lean
wants to
into
hear
it.
from you, lady?
Oh man,
Unbelievable.
I turned to Emily and I was like, "I'm sorry, I got to go do the show. Like I'm gonna have to miss all. I'm gonna have to miss the rest of the speeches because this thing's gonna go till 5 p.m."
Shout out to Charlie with the super chat saying BTA. BTA. That was pretty good.
I had to explain to Meg, to my mom, and to my mother-in-law, all separate conversations what BTA was.
And I did the same with Rachel. She was like, but why? I was like, I mean, it's a whole thing. Did you see the clip of Milton Williams' dad?
Yes, I did.
Wait,
That was
I did not
fantastic.
see
You
that.
didn't see this?
No.
Milton Williams' dad is like up on the float. He's got the 93 Williams jersey, and he's doing
I saw
BTA,
it.
but he's doing it to himself.
Oh, that's good.
I'm like imagining like
That's
if Cherelle
good.
Parker did not happen today, that's how
That
you
was
would
great.
open the show. Like you doing that. To the,
Yeah,
to the camera.
potentially so.
Still
That's
early.
great.
Now let's talk about the Howie thing, friend, because you have been there. You have been up on the float. You were there for the parade. On the Eagles buses in 2018. Beers flying all over you. You caught one.
I caught more than one, to be fair. One was caught on camera of me
Okay.
catching one. Yes.
All right. Now,
How many targets, though?
Describe it to us, how dangerous this could be.
It's very dangerous. I told the story like a couple months ago on the podcast that like Alshon was on the float with us for the back half of the parade, and he took one to the back of the head. And we were like, Alshon, are you all right? And he was like, yeah, I don't have to pass protocol for 3 more months. So like that. It's bad. I mean, especially when you get to the point right before you get to the art museum, you're sitting on the parkway and the buses come to a stop because you have to wait for everybody to unload.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just raining cans from that point, all from distance. So you have to. And everyone I was texting from the Eagles over the course of the week, I was like, remember, keep your head on a swivel, keep your head on a swivel, keep your head on a swivel. Obviously, we saw what happened with Howie today, but
I mean, the mark, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
I was texting
with
like back of the head. I understand Howie, like this one's coming at you.
Well, I was talking with somebody, busted their lip. It was like he turned and didn't see it coming, just turned right into it. Another guy who was on the DB bus, he caught one in the back of the head. So you have to be wary when you're up there.
That's crazy.
They were on our float very early because I mean that's part of the fun though. I mean it's a huge party the whole time. And I remember there were some elderly people like on our bus, like older people that around the organization
Brandon Graham,
who were like, oh, please, like, don't tell them to stop. Don't ask them to throw. We're like, no, are you kidding? Like, no, this is great. This is hilarious. So yeah, there was, some people didn't love it, but I thought it was phenomenal back then.
Let's go around and just describe what your day was like today. How you watched it. We'll start with you, Fran.
So Meg, Francis, and I jumped on the Broad Street line and went down to the stadium. So we were at the start point. We got down there. Probably around like 8:30 or so. Parade started at 11, so we got there early. We were like second row behind the boundary, so we got pretty good seats. Threw around the
time
football.
to wait for Francis. How was his
He did
patience
great.
level?
Yeah, we were there early enough that we were able to go in the grass like near Citizens Bank Park and throw the football around a little bit. Have fun with people that are around. He's in his element when there's like a crowd of people and he's just playing to the crowd, and it's comedy hour with him. So he was loving that. So we were there. I mean, we were on the first subway back, and we were back at our house by like 12:15. And so we had plenty of time to take in the broadcast of the parade, see all the hilarity with the guys that had a few beers too many. There was a little bit too much.
Like every single one who spoke.
Yeah, it was outstanding, and we were plenty of time for speeches. So it was great. It was a really fun day.
How about you, Professor?
Yeah, we had so my mom is in town.
You're nicely decked out in fresh Super Bowl swag for the audio listeners.
That's right. This is a different version of me. I don't have my laptop. Got a beer going here. Yeah, this is great. I haven't even charted the film yet.
You deserve it.
This is
I don't even know you anymore.
It's a wild. I know. It's. I'm gonna let the film just wash. I'm gonna shower in the film for the next month or so. I'm gonna go very slowly, but
because there were only 21 defensive plays in the first half, right?
Incredible. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold my nose during the first one because it was a successful play for the Chiefs, but the next 20 were not. Yeah, it was great. My mom's in town. She's here in studio now. Evren and Emily are as well.
Yep.
We walked over to Logan Square, where the fountain is. They set up a big screen there, and we watched pretty much everything from there. They came right by. They come right by there, and it's pretty easy to get to the boundary there as well. I thought it was a little bit less crowded maybe than 7 years ago. At least it felt that way.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Sure. It was just easy to get to see everything, and yeah, it was great. Evren was 2 months old last time, so he was not with me in that chaos, and so this time we got to enjoy it together.
How does this? You were there at the game, obviously.
Yeah, incredible.
How does this event compare, just like in the stack rankings of the things that you enjoy as a fan?
Well, in terms of the enjoyment, nothing can beat just that weekend in New Orleans. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, from the adrenaline rush of getting to the show on time on Friday, getting to be on Radio Row and seeing everybody, that was awesome.
Having the rest of your life with that kid.
That's right. Yeah,
you getting to see how tall Greg Cosell was. That made me laugh.
I was very surprised. I mean, Cosell is surprising. I mean, he's surprisingly tall.
Played basketball in college.
Did he? Yeah. Okay. Well, see, if I had known that, maybe I would have. I was surprised. I was like, that's Greg Cosell, except he's too tall. It was weird. But yeah, no, he's impressive height.
Greg Co's tall. We work on that?
Nah.
Greg Cos XL.
Oh, okay, not bad.
And then just the whole weekend was so cool. You guys are still working on the Greg Cosell thing.
Greg Cosell tall, like hella tall. Let us know if you have any good ideas for nicknames for tall Greg Cosell in the chat. Hashtag Greg Cosell tall.
Julia's doing a great job showing some of my footage from videos I took from.
Very nice. Another super chat from Evil Genius Raccoon, who says Deniz.
It just says
thoughts about Oasis, the stat pushed as an alt to EPA.
Oh yeah, I got to talk to I think it's Eric, right? I got to talk to Eric about exactly how Oasis is different than win probability added, which is what it seemed to be.
Favorite?
But I did see Oasis
song.
Favorite Oasis song, Acquiesce, I think, was a B-side. Yeah, I saw them in 1994 for like $20 from the first row. And I know they're doing a reunion tour now, and you cannot get first row tickets for $20 this time. So I probably won't be there.
I feel like the Noel Liam Gallagher relationship somewhat similar to the Jalen Hurts Nick Sirianni relationship. they have come together. And I thought it was interesting to have Jalen really for the first time ever say something nice about Nick Sirianni during his speech today.
Maybe it's because he wasn't asked.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, take us through your
He
experience.
said, I will
today.
very quickly, but just the Jalen Hurts thing that he said about Sirianni was...
he went on for a while.
He went on for a while. He said, thank you for your intentionality, fight, passion, and seeing this. And can we curse on this episode because they cursed so much? I guess not. Seeing this poop through.
That is not what he said. I think the intentionality was especially good because I feel like he's almost used that as a backhanded insult in the past, where they've asked him like,
He's
why
very
is Nick so great or whatever.
Yeah.
He just said he's very intentional, and it didn't sound like it was necessarily something he approved of.
Sure,
like, what the intention was.
And, and you could also like I do think you're right that the words were very specifically chosen. Like passion is like it's not necessarily the way that Jalen goes about it, and then seeing it through is like, thank you for not getting fired and getting us to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
But you know what? Good for him.
so great. So
I
good.
took both kids to we were like on between like Christian and Carpenter on Broad Street.
Got it.
And shout out to Casey, who was like, I got Jane on my shoulders, and it was like, I mean, it was super packed. It was like a real bottleneck. And Casey was like, he was my fullback. He was just
That's
weaving
awesome.
through,
Nice, yeah.
holding my hand, and then like, and obviously like if it's kids coming through, people will give just a little bit of an inch of budge.
Yeah, right.
I missed the stroller days for that
Well,
reason. That was the best thing about the
it was
stroller.
just a an umbrella stroller.
Umbrella,
We had
yeah.
one,
Oh, okay.
and then like there's a school there, but you could only get in if you had like a pass. But I dumped the stroller inside the gates of the school that I could then come back and get it later.
That's smart. Yeah.
And we went with a couple friends, and I was very impressed with their persistence. Jane was on my shoulders the whole time. Keiki worked his way up right up to the front,
It's great.
and yeah, they had a good time.
What was he most excited to see?
Oh, he was most excited to set off a little confetti cannon that
Nice.
was that he was given by a friend of ours. But he was up there. I think Jalen actually came down right where we were. I didn't see him do that.
Right.
But people around us were very excited, and yeah, just getting to see everybody go by. It's a lot of fun.
You would be very proud that Evren was very happy to see Nick Gates and Fred Johnson. Like they were
Nice.
very prominent on their bus.
Were you fighting
Nick
fighting
Gates
him over
like,
who was more excited to see
shirtless
Fred Johnson?
and chugging a beer. Fred Johnson looked like he was like the main act. Like he was like had his arms out. He's
Yes.
obviously a big guy already. And
He must have
it was
recognized
just-
you.
I feel like we did make eye contact. Yeah. It was,
my-
yeah,
my
it's
son
like I've
three
seen
times
that guy.
before.
Like it's like guy I always see at the airport or when I'm out eating. Yeah.
And there were a bunch of guys walking down. I feel like Cooper DeJean was doing a lot of walking, although it could also have just been like drunken rambling.
Couldn't find the bus. Maybe.
I think he was not seeing all the way straight, but that's okay. Good for him.
No, that was great.
Go
I
ahead.
should mention also that we were with DFOPs, Kevin McAllister and
Nice.
Aaron and their lovely families. So yeah, that was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I mean, it's a beautiful day of like civic pride. Like everybody coming from everywhere. Like whatever street you're walking on, you see all kinds of crowds like going in the same direction, all for the same thing in a very like peaceful joy. It's for the city. It is a beautiful thing.
We were riding the subway back home after, and we were surrounded by a lot of drunk Philadelphians. And on a typical Friday after midday, if there were a lot of drunk Philadelphians on the subway, I'd be a little bit worried about Francis.
Yeah.
Don't talk to everybody.
Yeah.
He was
Don't
talking
talk
to
to
everyone. And it was the best time. He everyone had fun with him. He had fun with everybody. It was a great day.
I did. There were a lot of clips going around of Saquon.
Yes.
I mean, Saquon is.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is the most popular guy in the city, right? He's been unbelievable.
Well,
He pulls the ball boy
Almost,
up.
depending on who you're talking to.
Well, the population of the city -1.
Right.
He's pulling the ball boy out. He's shotgunning beers.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, as expected, everything you saw from him today. Like, I wouldn't expect anything
As
different.
Saquon takes the mic, it's like the dream scene in The Princess Bride where there's just one person booing and it's Deniz.
Yeah.
Boo! Boo!
I have been slandered so much on this show. I don't even know why.
I mean, we all know it.
I hope everybody in the chat enjoyed it. Everyone that's local, and if you were not local and you watched on any of the news broadcasts, did you guys see the speeches played back through the news broadcast yet? It's very funny because
oh my god, it was unbelievable.
Because they have to beep out stuff.
It was so bad because they missed every beep. They like you heard every single curse word, and then they went so long after with muting it. It was like mother effing, and you heard it, and then there was like 25 seconds of silence, and you missed the speech.
We're really sorry
then,
that Jordan Mailata, he's really excited about everything that's going on.
While they're
meanwhile,
apologizing for it. Yeah.
Ooh,
really good.
Greg Costilts.
Yes, Greg Costilts is a good
there
one.
You go.
That's pretty good. I like Costilts.
good.
There's been a few good
Greg
ones.
Cost-elevated.
Craig Coast, how's the air up there? Is a good one.
Greg Coast, stretch me out, fam. I'm not sure. Well, that's all right. Greg Coast elevator. That's pretty good.
That's
Oh,
that's
that
a
is
good. One.
good. That might be the
That
best
might
one.
be pretty.
That one might be the best one.
Julia, I'm
There
sorry
you
for
go.
not shooting in.
Shout out
shooting
Brian
horizontally. No, poor job by my part.
Well, you know, it's tough. One's better for social. One's better for the show. Which way do you go?
Yeah.
For me,
I was
I
going
should've mixed
more
it up.
horizontal because it was like it wouldn't have been a good angle for me. We were too close, and in order to get the wide shot, I don't know.
Yeah, I should have mixed it up more. Bad job by me.
Was Francis on your shoulders the
He
whole
was
time?
on my shoulders. The once the parade started,
How are the shoulders?
pretty rough. I showered after I got back, so I didn't shower before. I showered after.
Okay.
And you have like you're up
Reaching
there
up
for.
to get, go ahead.
But, well, it's like you got like the slight bruising on the shoulders. Like
okay.
I had a little bit of that. But I think I'll
I
make it through.
I had a lot of Pringles crumbs in my hair. Jane was munching on some Pringles, and
We brought like some snacks down, like to try and keep them occupied. The people that were next to us, they came from like out past State College, like towards like Williamsport. So it was like they got up at 3:30 in the morning to get there first thing. Just the outstanding commitment. But this woman had a giant book bag full of snacks and was like, "We're not going to eat all these. Like, do you want some?" And Francis had like cookies, pretzels, a fruit by the foot. As the parade's getting closer, he's like inching closer over towards the bag. I'm like, "No, get back, get over here." But shout out to them. They came very well prepared.
That's very funny. The little group that we were in of friends that had like a thing of like a big box of Cheez-Its, like 45 Cheez-Its. Yeah. And then at one point she just starts throwing them into the crowd, like who wants Cheez-Its, just like flinging them all around. People helping people.
There we go.
For me, it was such a cool extension of Bourbon Street Sunday night too, because that was also like a community of Eagles fans, not necessarily all local, not necessarily all living in Philly, but it was just such a great, like we walked from the stadium all the way to the Marigny, all the way to Frenchman Street, which meant that we walked the entire length of Bourbon Street, and that was incredible too. Like, I mean, just like people, throwing beads at each other, like, doing Eagles chants. And that was the like immediate, the thrill right after the game type mood. And then today it was like a much calmer, relaxed, just kind of happy, like you're talking about all the drunk people. I thought it was a more relaxed, happy drunk this time.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Than maybe it was 7 years ago when there was like this like relief drunk, you know what I mean? Which can be a little bit more intense.
Right.
Not necessarily not angry by any means, but I thought this time it was a little bit more like, yeah, we know how to do this, we're doing this again. And I thought that was a really cool thing. So
all right.
People were taking pictures with Feldman on Bourbon Street, which were like these guys came up to me and they were like, it's the effing professor. Like, we got to get pictures with the professor. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, which one's Feldman? They like didn't know what Feldman looked like. But once they learned which one Feldman was, they were taking pictures with Feldman too.
But the chat was
Feldman,
on fire.
you want to talk about sneaky tall. I mean,
That's a good one too.
tall drink of water, Feldman.
The chat was on fire when you guys called in on Sunday night and Feldman got to come on the show. The chat loved it.
Yeah, I noticed. I rewatched that and I actually did a screenshot of the chat to Feldman where there were like 6 comments in a row that were just Feldman exclamation point.
Outstanding.
So, yeah, no, it was
paid actor, not still not the real one, I believe, but
There you
It's
go.
okay. All right, quick break to hear from our sponsors, and then more on the other side as we try to get to the bottom of who threw the beer at Howie Roseman. Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB. Today, Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Got Slam Dunk Saturday coming up tomorrow. It's never ordinary at Bet365. See for yourself with the Slam Dunk Saturday offer. Place qualifying parlay bets totaling $20 or more on Saturday NBA games and get up to $25 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, and you can open a new account now with a little extra incentive. Customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $100 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Let's now hear from our friends at Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical. And if you live in Philadelphia, you're probably familiar with Paul Glatt and Glatt Hair Restoration at this point. Well, they are now part of the Morgenstern Center. The same peerless approach to care, the same expert team, the same unmatched Glatt system, the same state-of-the-art location, and of course, the same stellar results. Each member of this exceptionally trained team brings over 30 years of industry experience. Hair restoration is all that they do. Glatt Hair can help during all stages of hair loss with leading-edge treatments for prevention and restoration, including laser light therapy, non-invasive TED treatments, vitamin supplementation, tropical and oral medications, PRP and stem cell restoration, and hair restoration surgery. Each patient receives a complimentary one-on-one consultation to pinpoint the exact course of treatment that is best for them. Caring patient advocates will work with you from the very first phone call all the way up to the very last follow-up visit. They understand that this decision can be emotional, this decision can be challenging, and they're here to help you make the experience simple and hassle and stress free. Glatt Hair is not just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional. And if you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. Visit GlattHairMCTR.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started.
And if you want to have your own Super Bowl swag, you can check out the ALLCITY store. There it is, the Gold Standard Collection. Great stuff. The store at ALLCITY. Awesome. Okay, let's talk about some of the potential suspects for Howie Roseman. I mean, you got Dylan McMahon. You got
Where was it? What part of the city was
right
it?
between the eyes.
No, I know, but like, where
I don't
on the
know. It was
parade
not
route?
caught on camera.
It looked relatively fresh by the
Which
time he was
seems
walking off.
not caught on camera is very suspicious. I mean, with all the cameras,
Listen, I had
all
somebody
along
else
the
text me
route.
the same thing, but this feels like a fake.
there are so many people with phones. None of them caught
now
it.
Listen,
That seems impossible.
The cell phone service is terrible when it's there, so it's possible it was captured, and we'll get this
real late.
coming out
I
later.
mean, I will say that, like,
But-
as the parade
but
was
I
going
agree
by
with you.
us, I think like 80% of people were taking video of the bus going by. So it seems impossible that nobody got.
So you think that there's
A
a
shot.
possibility that Howie staged this?
I mean, we didn't know about the beers because, like, I think the worst way to actually watch the parade is to probably be at the parade.
Sure.
So I'll watch the broadcast later, but he went up there and he yelled, "I bleed for this city," and I was like, "That's a little dramatic." I mean, that's like, you know, I don't like bleed. I mean, like, you know, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I mean, it caught him right.
Somebody
right
said they thought that maybe he tried to crush a beer can, not knowing that it was a full beer can.
I would say, like, seeing the video of him walking off the bus, it looked fresh. So my guess is that it was at that high volume area that I was talking about. That's the most dangerous spot. Near the end. That would be my guess.
I see some suspects in the chat. Somebody says Christian Ellis is a possibility. I saw Lou Riddick mentioned.
I thought it was Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick's a possibility. I think John Robinson very much could have been responsible. I mean, listen, it could be Joe Shane. There's a lot of people out there.
ZB is in the chat. Maybe ZB will get a text about it during the show. We'll he can call in.
Yeah, I don't think ZB would like this line of questioning. It's like a man got hit. He could have died. Like the slap.
Yeah.
Is ZB on route to where he was going?
No, he did not go. Zach is in the chat. He says, "Great fade for Howie today."
He commented on my waiting till afterwards to shower. And not
He
showering
could not
this
believe
morning.
that you didn't shower this morning.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, I agree with. But
No.
How do you get your day started without?
yeah,
I had plenty to do this morning to get ready, so I was like, I'll shower after. I know I'm going to shower before I come down here to the studio, and I know I'm going to be sweat because I had like 4 layers on for the parade.
Yeah, but that makes it even worse. You gotta.
yeah, it would feel gross.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I felt okay.
Okay,
I'll sleep. I'll sleep okay tonight. Thanks.
Yeah, let us know in the chat who else you think might have been responsible. Let's talk about some of the speeches, which they were good.
Yeah.
I think everybody was a little drunk.
I think it's really hard to live
it's
up
hard
to
to how
last
could you
time.
possibly follow Kelsey. First of all, shout out to Vanya Sachs. Great to see him again.
Yeah.
Electric performance. I still can't get over the show.
I texted.
She could not have been talking longer. Like, get off the stage.
so bad.
It's not about you.
It was
I
so
was
bad.
I was so proud that I was able to text you during the national anthem at the Super Bowl because the guy, what was his name? It was something trombone.
Trombone Shorty.
Trombone
Yeah.
Shorty. There you go. Yeah, it's just uncanny.
Yes, that
he plays the trombone.
and I blue skied that the Eagles are undefeated this season when someone plays the national anthem with one of their names being the same instrument that they play.
Yeah, and the exact thing that I texted about was it's a lot like Doug Analytics. I mean, he's just like he's born to do this. I mean, the guy's name is trombone. It's unbelievable.
What would your name be if like the best thing that you do? All right, that's now your
Crowd
first or
walking
last name. Well, did you see the comment in the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, like Casey picked up the gene.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
That is absolutely passed down. That's an inherited trait. Super chat from Nikki Loves Music, who says, Peckness migrate Jeffrey, Howie, Stout. Now, I'm assuming this is from if you're in charge of the organization standpoint. In which case, it's tough because, like, I don't know what a peck is getting you really for any of those guys.
Yeah,
you kind of need all of them long term, right?
I think
none of them are like
you could make the case in one way or
one
another
season or something.
that if Jeffrey's the owner, he's going to have a GM who operates like Howie. That's what he wants his GM to do. You could make the same case that if Howie's a GM, he's going to operate the same way, and maybe the owner doesn't matter as much. I could be convinced on either side of that argument, but Stout, 1 year of Stout's not going to do much for you, but you might want him for the long term. I think you probably nest Jeffrey.
Probably.
Relative to the other owners.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most important thing.
I think that's probably
and then
right.
you could do, that's the most important one, and then you go from there.
I think
that
that's right.
sounds right. I mean, they all work well together.
That's true.
So
is there a potential Eagles front office underling who could have been responsible for the beer can, hoping that it could, you're trying to pave the way to ascend to the GM throne?
That sounds like a question for Zach.
Yeah, who's next man up? I mean, if the worst had happened there, what? I'm just looking for suspects. I mean, I'm not saying. Yeah. I mean, you got to be ready for any situation.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who. I mean, there are probably a lot of people who.
Yeah.
There's a lot of assistant GMs.
That's true.
And VPs. So.
Well, you got Alec Halaby and John Ferrari.
Yeah.
I think Alec Halaby would be the one.
Probably. Yep.
One of my favorite parts of the mic'd up was, is it John Ferrari who Nick is talking to in the headset?
Yes.
And he says, John, how much are we up by? Because the math was too hard to do. Like, you're up by so much that he was like, what are we up by? Or 28? Like, I love that. It was it was fantastic.
That was very good. Super chat from Sirianni's Buzzcut, who says, the Vox Populi spoke. The majority of the fans seemingly were in Kelly Green. when are we going to go back to the 80s, 90s branding? Come on, Jeffrey. I have a take on this, actually. I saw one jersey today, which I didn't love, and I'll tell you why. It was a Kelly Green Dawkins. And
which
that.
he never wore.
It's anachronistic, right? Like,
yeah.
Right.
I get it. It's the most popular player and the best jersey.
But he literally never wore it.
But he literally never wore that jersey.
Right. Because they also didn't do it.
Devontae,
they didn't do it as a throwback when he played
one or two
either.
times a year. That's fine.
Right. I agree.
Doc's never worn it.
Yep. I agree. Now, I think even worse than that is when you have a player from back then in the midnight green. I saw in New Orleans, there was a Wes Hopkins.
Oh, that is
48 Wes Hopkins with midnight green, which he
That's
also never wore, and it is also an inferior jersey. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I thought that was even
that's worse.
That's even worse.
It's a worse jersey,
especially because it's easy to get a Kelly Green jersey. Like, yeah. So,
Luca in the chat. Tom Donahoe.
Tom Donahoe. Zach says his 7-year-old explained to him what BTA means.
There you go. Other way around. Everyone asked me.
Now, would you call it a day off if he's just sitting there in the chat? Julia with a hard no.
Wait, is Zach at least going somewhere tomorrow?
I think he's doing something different. Yes.
Okay.
You guys talked about it on the show last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's going.
They're going to.
Oh yeah. He's going to a play that has music.
That has music.
There we go. Okay, got it. Yeah. Got it.
Okay.
I hate to tell you, it is a musical.
AJ, although I actually think it might not be a musical.
It's just a play that has occasional songs, maybe?
Yeah. I thought AJ, I actually liked AJ's maybe the best because he had a quick message.
Yeah.
It was a pointed message and he delivered it very well. And the message was good. You know, they called me a diva. They called me all these things. You can get stuff wrong about me all the time, but get this right. Yeah, I'm an effing champion.
Yes,
that was awesome.
That was
he
probably
dropped the mic,
best exclamation point. I enjoyed Jordan singing. I think that was on brand for him.
Sure.
The next one, I mean, the problem is that I missed half of it was Landon because that was like he cursed once and then like they
just started cutting it out.
30 seconds they cut out the audio.
Because I'm pretty sure it was Landon who like cursed once, they apologized, and then he cursed again, and then they held it for a long time after. But yeah, I think the speeches overall were just okay. But yeah, those probably my highlights.
I think AJ's was my favorite.
I think AJ's was the best.
I agree. Pretty clearly, in fact, like by a lot, I would say. CJ was disappointing. I thought the BTA thing I know, but like
I think the BTA thing was good, but then
there was potential with him to be like super juiced up, and he went the calm route.
It's hard because you don't. If you try to go Kelsey and then you fall short, you kind of look like a jabron.
Yeah,
so it's not even worth trying. But then
that's true.
You know.
Like it felt like Landon brought that energy, but I don't think he did a nice job of not going too far. Kelsey still being. I thought he was still true to himself.
I would say the worst was probably the Exciting Whites.
And
it was very funny because they weren't supposed to speak, and then you hear Bob Lang, the director of who's in charge of communications, tell Dave Spadero like just announce them as the Exciting Whites. Like, okay.
Can you believe Bob Lang finally broke through after 25 years of not winning?
And then their speech was fine, but then Reed tries to go into Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah, it was
and he gets one bar in, and you're like, if you're going to do it, you got to do it, man.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I was kind of hoping that Jordan would sing the "No One Likes Us" song as opposed to "We Are the Champions." I know BG sang it a little bit, but he didn't get the crowd going. I thought that would have been a neat parade tradition that everybody sings that song, and that didn't quite happen. But whatever. So
Zach says Kelly Green is like a mailbag episode. Everyone enjoys it, but the owner only reluctantly allows it twice a year.
That's good, Zach.
That is really good. Pretty good. That's fantastic.
That's pretty good. And then BG, which some people were leading us to believe was going to be a definitive one way or the other. You know, this is it for me. Like, thank you, Philadelphia. Or like, let's go one more time.
Were you expecting it? Were you expecting one?
I was sort of expecting him to come down one way or the other.
I had a tweet ready to go, like as if
oh really
to make a call that I would hit send and be first to market on it.
What was the tweet?
I thought he was going to announce he was coming back.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's just, I don't know. Just like
the way he talked about it yesterday, I thought he said he was talking to his wife, and it was such a fairy tale ending, and I thought he was leaning the other way.
After the game, I thought so too, but it wasn't. when he talked about it, it wasn't that he was leaning that way because he was ready to retire. It was like he was leaning that way because of the story, because of the fairy tale, like you're talking about. And he mentioned Jerome Bettis doing it in Detroit in his final Super Bowl. That's how he was talking after the game. But in the speech, he certainly made it sound like, I don't know, maybe he does want to run it back.
Yeah, I thought he said we're getting ready for next year, but then he said like no matter what, I'll be part of this or something.
Yeah.
He was like kind of going back and forth. It's almost like he's trying to convince himself of one way or the other. Maybe, who knows?
I was gonna say it's like watching an episode of Severance where it's like, oh, there are crumbs either way. Where like if you go back,
some of the crumbs in my head right
now. 3 months from now, we can go back to this speech and say, oh, we should have seen it coming because of that little line.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think in the chat? Let us know if you think BG is coming back.
And also, do you want him to come back? Like, it's kind of cool. The fairy tale thing is really cool. You know?
Sure. But also, if he wants to play, he deserves it.
Yeah. And I would guess that he would probably still be good. I mean, he was awesome this year. So good. And he only played, 13, 14 snaps on Sunday? Snaps, but he drew a hold. He actually drew 2 holds. They only called one of them. I thought he looked strong. I mean, he didn't. It was so cool. It was so cool to watch him warming up and then go out on the field, and it was great.
All right, one more break to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll come back on the other side. I believe
Cherelle Parker.
Yeah, I believe she's still talking. That's right. Yes. Our friends at TrueMark Financial. You've heard us talk about them. Now you get to hear us talk about them again. If all of that holiday shopping or your trips to the ALLCITY store to get Eagles swag has left you with a credit card balance that's weighing you down, well, TrueMark Financial is ready to step in and help. Now think about this. You got that debt. What if you could pay it off faster and with 0 interest until 2026? With TrueMark Financial, it's true, because TrueMark Financial is offering 0 interest on balance transfers for 12 months. So all of your payments can go toward reducing your balance, not just covering your interest. Here's the play. Transfer your existing balance from another institution to a TrueMark Financial Visa credit card and take advantage of this amazing offer. But hurry, you have to apply by February 28th, 2025. Whether you're interested in earning rewards, cash back, or simply prefer a low rate for everyday purchases with TrueMark Financial, you can choose the credit card that best fits your financial needs. Visit TrueMark.com/compare for full details and to apply today. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to approval. 3% balance transfer fee applies. Standard rates apply after the promotional rate.
So today, on Friday, the Eagles had their Super Bowl parade. Yesterday, Thursday, they got fitted for their Super Bowl rings down at the Novacare complex. And maybe you watched the video that they posted on social media, and you thought, oh, I'm a little jealous. Like, I want to get fitted for a ring. Well, it's very easy. All you need to do, go down to the corner of 8th and Chestnut here in Philadelphia, and you go to Golden Nugget Jewelers. For the past 30 years, Golden Nugget Jewelers has operated out of the very same location at the heart of Philadelphia. Customers from across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and even Baltimore and New York City have come right here to Philly for Golden Nugget Jewelers to find the perfect engagement ring or wedding band. Their staff is highly trained and dedicated to providing a personalized shopping experience. Look, Valentine's Day was today. It's a little bit late now to get that for your significant other, for your loved one, but plenty of other reasons to go out, whether you're trying to get engaged, maybe you want to get a nice watch, or if you want to get a ring to remind you of this Super Bowl victory. All you got to do is head on down to Golden Nugget Jewelers, receive that final cleaning and that written appraisal with every single ring purchase. Golden Nugget Jewelers has been a family-owned and operated business since 1987, right there at Chestnut and 8th in downtown Philadelphia. You deserve an expert and the best price. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Visit goldennuggetjewelry.com to learn more.
Super chat from DJ, a.k.a. Mr. Sandman, who says, that Eagles trophy case getting awfully crowded lately. Little Eagles emoji. Nice job. I want to see a good sicko mock up the usual suspects with just different general manager heads on there for who threw the beer at Howie. I mean, you got Mickey Loomis, you got Chris Ballard, talked about John Robinson. I mean, you could throw Tom Donahoe in there. A lot of
Joe Shane, John Robinson, yeah.
Yeah. Libya for real. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're having fun.
Yeah, it was.
It could be anybody.
Could be anybody, but it was probably just a fan trying to give him a drink.
Well, you don't know that. Deniz, you did tweet something the other day. I don't know if it was tweet or Blue Sky, whatever it was. But
I usually do both. Try to.
We will give one little bit of just historical significance here for the Eagles. By EPA per drive,
Yeah.
combined offense and defense,
Yeah.
the best Super Bowl champion of the decade or of the century.
Yeah, I mean, as far back as True Media goes.
Since 2000,
so,
yeah.
since 2000, the last 25 seasons, it was the best combined EPA per drive, like you said. That's regular season plus playoffs. I filtered out garbage time in the tweet, but when you don't filter it out, it's still true. Best Super Bowl champion of the last 25 years, and the best of any team overall in the last 5 seasons, and the 5th best of the 798 seasons in the True Media database. But the 4 that were better, none of them won the Super Bowl. Right. So the 2007 Patriots, the 05 Colts, the 01 Rams, and the 19 Ravens were the only 4 that were better, and they were only slightly better. And it's kind of crazy, right? Because all year we've been talking about this offense could be much better than this, and so on. But by EPA per drive, the offense was pretty good. I mean, it was the schedule and all that.
Dragging them down on DVOA.
Yeah, and actually, I'm starting to wonder if we should keep talking about DVOA.
Yeah.
After Aaron Schatz said that this was the 39th best Super Bowl champion, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that is like outrageous to say that. I mean, this was a dominant team all season.
Yeah.
And by EPA per drive, which is what DVOA is kind of the main thing that it uses, is something similar. It's the best Super Bowl champion of the last 25 years. Like, how could it possibly be the 39th best of all time?
Well, those
other
actually
38
teams didn't allow Xavier Worthy to have over 100 yards.
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable that the Eagles overcame like a Jerry Rice-esque performance in the Super Bowl. I mean, just amazing.
I mean, the fact that he caught that, there was a 50-plus yard touchdown against the entire second and third string defense.
I know. It was so good because people were talking about how, no one was even paying attention then. It was garbage time. And then I was like, yeah, no one was paying attention. and Evren was like, are they talking about when Xavier Worthy caught the touchdown against Tristan McCullum and Sidney Brown? Yeah. And he just said that on his own. Like, he watched the game without me, obviously. Right. He was just at home. And I was like, yeah, like my 7-year-old noticed that was against the second string. Like, what do you, it's just, ridiculous. Anyway, they scored 16 points on their last 4 snaps on offense. Like, it was touchdown, 2-point conversion, touchdown, 2-point conversion. Those were their last 4 snaps, obviously all in garbage time. I was actually angry that the mic'd up included those. Like, I think it's like bad journalism.
I'm with Emily on being angry at you for being angry at that.
Yeah, I just think it's just like it has nothing to do with anything. Like, it was after the Gatorade pass.
They're completionists.
They're just trying to make the Chiefs look better, and they didn't look good.
I don't know. I think it was fine. No. Did you have a favorite mic'd up moment, Fran?
I mean, Devontae's the interaction between Jalen and Devontae on the sideline was a good one. The interaction with Jalen and Saquon was a really good one.
Yeah.
I thought all of the Saquon leadership stuff was awesome.
It was very
I thought his reaction to the OPI was so good. Like, it was like when he was like, "Who the hell cares? Like, who the hell cares? We're still here." I thought that was awesome.
I was explaining.
That's what I was trying to say to Feldman. Right. But it's like at the same time you're angry. You're like, what the hell? Like, we might need those points.
Sure.
Right?
Like, the night that it came out, it was that Wednesday night. I was explaining to Meg, like, this is one of my favorite pieces of football content all year, because, like, it's the last game and all of NFL Film's power goes into this game. So, like, all the XO breakdowns are excellent. The mic'd ups are excellent. There's so many cameras. So I love that mic'd up segment.
Super chat from Mikey Phased, who says Petty Deniz is the best Deniz.
Well, we all know that. But
is there another kind?
I thought the defense doing the breathe thing was awesome.
It was so funny to me that it was CJ Gardner-Johnson.
I thought that was so great, and that it's CJ GJ makes it even better. But I thought it was like exactly the right thing to be doing there. And I also thought, and maybe some of it is just the way it's edited because the editors know who won the game, right? But the way that the Eagles players were talking to each other and calm, like we're here, just focus, play at a time, whatever. And then you hear Travis Kelce like trying to urge his team on to have more juice. Like it's the Super Bowl, man. Like how do you need to even say that? I thought there was a bit of a contrast there. And again, like it might not be like if the Chiefs had won, it might have sounded different. You know what I mean? Like knowing what happened. But I thought it was just really like
the Chris Jones, we might have to dig a little bit deeper. It was very funny.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're down 24-0.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You might.
Yeah, might have to. You might have to change something. Yeah, no, that was great.
I'm looking in the chat, and there is one suspect who we did not mention, who honestly probably the most obvious suspect.
New offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly. I mean, there might be an APB out for him at this point. If he's been seen in the Philadelphia area anytime recently, that's maybe that's why Zach's not here.
He's
driving him.
Highest
Zach is
offensive
hightailing it out of state
coordinator?
with Chip in his trunk somewhere. He's trying to get him out of Dodge.
The other funny part of watching the parade from home, watching the speeches was as I think it was Jalen that was up speaking, and the drone kept flying right in front, and I'm just expecting Dom to come through with like a baseball bat and just smash the drone down. That was a because it kept coming back, and I was like, someone's gonna have a great shot of this.
Is that like an official drone that they're allowed?
I don't think
because normally
so, no.
they don't allow drones in.
No, they were like
public
they were talking about that on the broadcast.
That is like not.
During the broadcast, they were like, yeah, it sounded like there was like a horde of bees like around us because it was just like the buzzing from all the drones. Technology at its best, working to improve everything around us. But
they like stopped the Ravens game, remember? Because there was a drone. I thought drones at events like this, I guess maybe when it's out on the street, it's hard to regulate. But I was a little surprised that there were so many drones around.
Now, Fran, do you want to come on the show and tell us what your favorite part of the parade was?
I don't know if Emily would like that.
Oh, he doesn't have to.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't want to. Okay. All right. He can just show off his jersey with the awesome stitching if he wants.
He's got the Super Bowl stitching.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the Super Bowl stitch.
Yeah, we got these like stitches on
here.
eBay. There we go. There we go.
All right. What a stud.
That is awesome.
There it is.
Nice job.
Big time.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Evren is old enough to remember the loss 2 years ago. That was the first season that he watched closely, and it wasn't fun to lose for him either. So
now, were you going shoulders with him too?
My back is not. I can't. He's too big. so no. Emily was able to lift him enough that
you made her lift him.
She doesn't have a bad back like I do.
Oh, this is outrageous.
And look, when you have a bad back, you have a bad back. I don't know what I can say. Like
carrying all the weight of those film breakdowns.
Unbelievable. We know who's carrying the family.
Well, I mean, we all know who's carrying the family already.
AJ Jones in the chat saying the buzzing was really loud down there from the drones. So backing that up. Unless it's the buzzing about Chip Kelly, one of the two.
Yeah, or just trying to think of the other GMs who Howie has fleeced in a trade, but yeah, I don't know. What about you? Any other mic'd up?
Mic'd up. Oh man, the whole thing was incredible. I was bawling, like crying during the Cooper DeJean pick six part, just because they showed it so many times. Yeah. And that was
and how
for
excited
me,
Zach Bond was about it. That was so cool.
That was
really cool. Yeah. And it was for me just like going back to the way I lived it live. I mentioned on the post game, like for me, that was the moment in the stands. That was the most like adrenaline rush, like brain about to come out of my head. Like we were just jumping on top of each other in the stands. Like that was the moment that for me, obviously the game's not over at that point, but that's the moment where it goes from being a kind of close game in the early part of the game to, oh my God, I think we're going to just blow them out, and that was it opened the door to the blowout in a way that was like the biggest jump in my confidence of, it was probably like the biggest, like, technically the biggest win probability added or whatever as well. But like, it was also just like, and so getting to see it from so many angles and hearing all the different announcers, that was really cool. The Smitty, somebody posted like 20 different languages of the Smitty touchdown. And one of them was Turkish. And so Evren and I watched the Turkish call of that like 20 times in a row the other night. That was also a lot of fun.
Could have been you.
So, Yeah,
Could've
they
been
asked
you.
me. Yeah, so I know the guy. I've written back and forth with the guy who does the play-by-play, and when I lived there, they actually did ask me if I wanted to do color commentary, but they only had the rights to college football, and I was like, I don't know a lot about college football. I frankly don't really like college football, so I didn't want to spend my like.
But it could have been a stepping stone to get you to the NFL, to the big game.
Maybe I don't know how. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What were you laughing at before?
Zach dropping Chip Kelly quotes in the chat.
Sounds about right. Barrett with a super chat says, Ruben Frank recently shared the origin of gangrene. Philly beat writers came up with it on a flight back from a bird stomping. Can we please get a crossover show of all the Eagles podcasters brainstorming a nickname for this defense? I don't know about the crossover episode, but I can try to come up with a name.
I haven't heard a single good.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
There have been so many that people have said, and none of them work. It's such a fundamentally sound, good defense, right? Like it's good in almost a boring way. It's like we're gonna play cover 4, and the underneath defenders are gonna match the routes really well. Like it's hard to come up with a nickname for that. You know, like it's like
the match patch.
The match patch.
Case in point.
What the hell?
That's exactly my point.
It's like, all right, what are the things they're good at? All right, they're really good at
they're
matching
good at,
coverage.
Okay. The underneath defenders are really good at matching the routes.
The tackle spackles.
Yeah, we got to workshop that.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late now.
You got 100.
They've already won.
There are 140 episodes, or 139 now, but until season starts, right?
Got to work on it.
You got time to figure it out.
If you are listening and not watching, Julia has been interspersing a bunch of the scenes from the parade throughout this episode. I think if you check out the YouTube page, also and all the shorts that we have, you'll get to see a bunch of those scenes as well. Josh Sweat wearing the Chris Long fur coat.
Yeah,
that was a nice touch.
Chris Long mentioned that a player would wear it on his podcast earlier this week, and we were speculating at breakfast who it would be. My guess was Cam
I was led
Jurgens.
to believe it was going to be Dom, but
Oh, interesting. Would it fit Dom?
I think so.
Probably, right?
I actually changed my my answer from earlier. Dom's speech was the best.
Dom's speech was pretty
Dom's
good.
speech was
He said,
good.
"I love you, Philly. Goodbye."
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think they made it. I don't think that Dom wanted to
he
speak.
did not want it. Yeah, of course not. Yeah, that was good.
Who would you have liked to hear from that you didn't get to hear from?
That's a good one.
I would have liked to hear from Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
I would have liked to hear from Zach Bond.
Just main characters from the season wise.
Yeah. And then, like, who could have cut a good promo that I would have liked to hear? That would be a little bit more. I think Fred Johnson would have given a good.
Fred Johnson
yeah,
would
for
have
sure.
would have given a good one.
Yeah.
Based on the footage I saw of Quinyon Mitchell on the parade route,
He was not in shape. Not in shape.
You haven't seen it yet?
I saw him walking at one point,
he
walking
was-
on the street with like a, what did he have? He had.
I don't know what he had with him, but there was one.
There's one where like James Bradbury like cut off an interview because he's like stopped talking.
But he like basically like he did a James Bradbury unbelievable teammate and excellent job in this situation of just understanding like I have to cut this interview off,
Getting him away
before something bad happens.
Yeah.
But Quinyon enjoyed himself today, which rightfully so.
So those young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's coming back.
Yeah. I was that reminded me about Jalen's speech. I thought it was very funny that he eventually made a point to shout out the specialists.
Yeah.
Like Jake Elliott and Rick Lovato, but nothing for Braden Mann.
He didn't say anything about Braden Mann?
No, I think he said Jake Elliott and the snapper.
I think
thought
he said
said
something
a quick
getting
thing about Braden Mann.
getting the
Yeah,
snaps
yeah.
down. I think he may have
Braden
as a
Mann getting the
holder,
snaps.
not as a
I
punter.
think that's what he meant. Yes.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't. Probably doesn't like to think about punting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Jordan fit, like the Kangol and the?
I don't know how I thought about it, but Meg loves it. Meg is all about. She's like upset that they love Hurts stuff. Like there's not stuff you can buy right now.
You can't buy that stuff.
Not yet. She's been looking nonstop. She was like refreshing.
I thought it was so funny that night when she was yelling at you from the other room about Jalen.
And it continued like after the show.
Wait, what was she yelling?
We were talking during the. I was basically making the point that based off this game that everyone on each side of the Jalen Hurts debate all season long should feel validated because if you were on the critical side, you're like, this is what you expect. This is because you know that he's capable of it. I shouldn't speak for everybody because there are some people that are ridiculous about it. But for me personally and for others that I've spoken with, it's like, we've seen Jalen play better than what he was doing through chunks of the season. Yeah, this is what you expected to see. And for everybody else, it was like, see, he could do it. You guys said he couldn't do it. And Meg texted as we were talking about on the show because it was remote. Meg's texted me and he was like, basically like he's the best QB ever. Like this is you need to apologize, like that kind of thing. It was good.
Of the 50 quarterbacks. You mentioned this on the show yesterday or 2 days ago. This was the best EPA per dropback of any quarterback in a Super Bowl since 2000. And Jalen's 2 of his best 5 games, I think, were the championship game this year and the Super Bowl this year. So the last 3 games he played. And I thought it was
very specific 200 yards passing, 70 yards rushing, 70% completion percentage. He's only done it twice in his career.
And those are the 2 Super Bowls.
The 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. AJ Brown said after the game on one of the post-game shows that he thinks Jalen doesn't get excited by the earlier games, like earlier season. He's locked in, but it doesn't excite him. Like he's different before these big games. Like he says he's different in the just talking to him before the big games, and the whole Jordan myth-making thing, right?
Sure.
It totally fits that.
Yes.
Like if he's thinking,
it's like Zach in a regular season episode. He doesn't. Those don't mean anything to him.
Right.
It's the NPO that really gets him
Correct.
going.
that's yes. Why is it NPO, by the way?
I don't remember why it was done incorrectly, but I'm not hanging up on it.
We haven't talked about it, but congrats on Swooper.
We're going to do that next week.
Oh,
but thank you.
Great.
I created the graphic. I just haven't posted it.
Well,
yet.
Tuesday's episode, we're all going to be together. We can do the full review.
Okay, got it.
I'll post it by then.
Okay, thank you.
Anticlimactic, but
that's okay.
The all pay auction got Fran, right? It kind of, that was the moment.
What's from 2 weeks ago?
That's when it turned.
That was the moment.
That was because I misjudged how he was going to play it.
That was like the Cooper DeJean pick 6 of the Swooper season.
If we're being honest, the season ended for me at Strip Swooper because at the week after. I said it in episode that I was holding back turkeys to spend because I wanted just in case, and then that became every week. Then became all or nothing for me in terms of spending turkeys, holding turkeys, spending turkeys. I never leveled back out.
Speaking of super strategy, shout out to Corey.
The infamous Corey. By the way, thanks for watching on Fast. Make sure that you check out the rest of this episode on allphly.com.
Corey, who's probably listening, saw me in the halls of Wharton yesterday, and just yelled out, "Deniz!" He's like, "I'm a sicko. I'm Corey." He was actually wearing a Saquon jersey.
Nice.
Yeah, and
he should have known better than to address you than wearing the Saquon jersey.
Yeah,
I learned what advice he gave to Zach as well. So.
Interesting.
Anything you can share?
I mean,
the season's over.
Yeah, the season is over. Yeah, he did some analysis, and basically, it was what you would expect from Zach's behavior in that episode.
Start bidding early,
like get the cheap ones.
Yeah.
Like buy them for cheap. Anything under 6 turkeys, like you probably want those because whoever has the most items usually wins. Something like that. So you guys can probably reverse engineer some strategy based on that if you think Zach's going to continue to follow that advice.
I think we could workshop now. Sirianni's buzz cut says the belt that assers, but what have you called them? The ass belters. Tough.
Yeah.
What about something with like this defense has fangs? Like I'm playing on Fangio. Fangs. Then they're like they're vampires or something like that. Yeah. The Bloodhound Gang.
They're like more boringly good than that. I say that in a complimentary way.
Gang?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just no.
That song. It's gonna bother me.
Is it you and me, baby?
Yeah. Bad touch.
I feel like if they had given him the mic long enough, Reed Blankenship would have started singing that song.
Thank God they took it away.
Yeah.
All right, I think this defense has fangs. It's close enough.
I mean, I know it's a little early to think about next year, but all the stuff we say about defense not being sticky from year to year, it'll be really,
test.
This is going to be a great test of that. Yeah.
I will say the worst part, I love the offseason. I love everything about, free agency, the draft, team building, all the discussion we're going to have in the next 3 months. The worst part of the offseason is that this guy goes into hibernation. It's the worst part.
Who?
You.
Me? I don't go into hibernation.
You go into hibernation. We very rarely hear from you in the offseason.
I don't know if that's true. I do like a free agency thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll come on the show once in a while.
I mean, if you're invited.
I mean, wow. I'm just getting mixed messages here.
Open invite.
One guy's like, this guy goes into hibernation. It sucks. And the other guy's like, you're not invited. So, yeah, we'll see.
You're welcome anytime.
Thank
but
you.
you're going to take your 8-month sabbatical.
Yeah, you go. That's
the summer. Yeah.
You go on the way in the summer, but even in the lead up,
we are going to travel. We travel, but now we're limited by Evren's summer, so we can only travel for 11 weeks or something like that. So we used to go for longer, but yeah, I'll be around. Otherwise, happy to come on if you have me.
You're just trying to think of.
I can't wait for
green things. Yeah,
I can't wait for your draft stuff to be.
What do we got coming up?
Available to the public for the first time.
Yeah, it's fun. It's what I like about it. I was just I watched more guys. It was late last night. Watched 2 players, put it in there in the database, and I always go and check. All right, can the diehards see it? And it's all there. So that's fun. What we have coming up. So next week is going to be all combine preview content. So the combine is now, I'm leaving a week from Monday, for Indianapolis. So, we'll do a draft show next week. Bo and I, here on the channel. So you can expect that, just getting into some of the big names, and what you can expect from Indianapolis. But yeah, after that, it'll be all the combine reaction content. So I'll do some video for here. We'll have the print pieces for the diehards leading up. But then after that, it's I think I'll do a 2-round mock draft for immediately after the combine. My first big board, probably do a top 100. Will come out the week after that, and then we'll be doing position preview stuff, specific prospect profile videos. We'll be doing. We got a lot coming from a draft standpoint.
As someone who's been lucky enough to see Fran's draft notes back when they weren't available to the public, I can tell you it is worth every penny of being a diehard to have access to that stuff.
Thank you.
I mean, it is awesome. So
we do also need to tell you about the big takeaway presented by Con Murphy's, our big takeaway. And to me, it's just that we're still trying to figure out who hit Howie Roseman between the eyes. There's really only 2 choices. It's that or Cherelle Parker, wrap it up, stop talking.
That was my takeaway.
I mean, she's down bad. This is,
Again,
I mean, no chance at re-election.
It's very hard to draw booze at a championship parade, and that's she managed to get that done.
She was going through every week.
Unbelievable.
She's and then week 5 was the bye week. And then
it's not even a joke. That's
exactly and that's what she said. She was week 5 was the Browns game. No. Week 5 was the bye week.
I had it up on my laptop. We had a couple of the friends we were with. We had it over. I went to go take Jane to the bathroom and then came back up and she was still talking.
That was bad.
What are we doing?
Yeah. That's a big takeaway.
So on behalf of Con Murphy's, wrap it up, Cherelle. That's enough of that. All right. Well, guys, happy parade day.
Happy parade day.
Happy parade day.
It's a lot of fun. We hope everybody enjoyed either going or watching it from afar. Deniz, Zach says you're invited as well.
It's his show too.
Thank
Bo.
you. And
Yeah.
Zach, you are, as David Rhodes says in the chat, who's a fellow Wharton instructor, he says, Deniz can't come back on the show unless ZB attends Deniz's class. You are welcome you're welcome to audit the class anytime, Zach. In fact,
I believe Zach's got a lot of free time coming up.
maybe when we talk about auctions, can do that. How many books is Zach writing this offseason?
Good question.
Oh.
Stay tuned, I guess.
Stay tuned. All right.
We got
Well, I guess that'll do it. On behalf of the professor and Julia and Fran and the Bloodhound Gang, we thank you all for watching and listening. We will talk to you on Monday. 139 shows left to go until training camp starts. And it begins on Monday, 2 o'clock all next week. And then after that, believe it or not, it's the Combine. 2 weeks away. Insane.
I need 3 more weeks.
That'll do it.
You know,
We will
the thing
talk
with
to you.
going to the Super Bowl, Bo, is that, you know, you're
they're
behind
schedule.
every other team, you know?
Maybe that was the purpose of the beer can then. It was an excuse for Howie to get away from any other responsibilities he has so that he can get back to the real work that he wants to do. I don't know.
Self-inflicted.
Listen, that's Deniz's theory. He's the one who says if it's not on video, it must have been fake.
It just seems impossible in a place with thousands of cell phones constantly taking video that it wouldn't be on video.
You said Zach texted you about it too, though. You said someone texted you. I just assumed
Oh, it
was
wasn't Zach. I see. Yeah, Zach doesn't believe it either. He's a big conspiracy theorist. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you for watching and listening. Hope everybody had a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.